Hello everybody, welcome to Brick Vault, and today is a very quick minifigure collection video, and we're looking at a very popular character from the Batman franchise. We've got Poison Ivy. She first made her appearance within the Batman universe back in 1966. She is definitely a classic villain, and possibly her most iconic performance was done by Uma Thurman back in the 90s. This villain uses her powers of seduction, her control over plants, and the subsequent poisons that come from them as her main weapons, and in LEGO we've seen exactly 4 iterations of this character. The first one is a pretty old minifig. She came out back in 2006 with the original Batman theme and was only released in the original Arkham Asylum set. The detailing for her body looks somewhat simple compared to what we get for today's minifigures, but I gotta say the ivy or leaf detailing on the front of the torso piece is actually a relatively intricate and finely put together print. But ultimately I don't think it looks that great, and we don't get any printing on the back, so it leaves this character relatively exposed. I do like the print for her face though. She looks very, very evil, and we also get a hairpiece that's relatively rare too. And this minifig came out in a set that I think a lot of people thought was going to be collectible even back in 2006. There's a lot of good versions of her still being sold, which brings her price down a bit to around $13 or $14. I was expecting her to be more expensive. With that being said, let's move on over to the next Poison Ivy. She came out 6 years later in 2012, actually one of the first minifigs to be produced for the DC Superheroes line. She came out in 3 sets. One was also the new version of the Arkham Asylum. This time LEGO made the right decision of keeping the torso piece in the center lime green, or just colored at all, and then added some printing that showed sort of the negative space for the hips. And here you can see a different kind of dress. It actually looks like a dress this time with leaves and stuff that are kind of draped around it, and that is exclusive printing for some leaves on her hair. All in all, she's a way better put together fig compared to the original, and she comes with a couple of very nice expressions. As you probably know, just because a minifig can look better than another version doesn't really have much to do on how the price is set up. She came out in 3 sets, which brings her price down to around $5.50. Now the latest 2 Poison Ivies came out pretty darn recently in 2017, along with the release of the LEGO Batman movie. The first one that was technically released came out in, yet again, another version of the Arkham Asylum set, the latest one, and subsequently she is now a minifig, or at least this version of her is just a fig that is in an Arkham Asylum prison jumpsuit. You can see that there is a little bit of detailing to show that it is a female figure with that sort of negative space printed to show the hips. Right now this Poison Ivy fig sells for $7.50, and here I'll just describe the detailings for her face and her hairpiece once we look at the second version of her here. This is without a doubt the most well-realized version of Poison Ivy. She came out in the Scuttler set, and there are just a ton of awesome details that the designers decided to include for her. She has some excellent printing that goes onto the legs. It matches up very nicely with the torso print, which is absolutely immaculately printed. Her arms are also quite good. They are both dual molded, and her left arm has a little bit of a vine and some flowers growing as well. That's a nice little print. The hairpiece is also awesome. There's all these nice curls and stuff, and there's some printing on the back and well, kind of all over the hair that shows some leaves. On top of all of that, pretty much everything I've described here is exclusive just to this fig, but on top of all of that, they also gave her this sort of grass skirt piece that goes around the waist. Because there are so many exclusive parts that belong just to this character, she is selling for around $16 or $17. That makes her the most new Poison Ivy, but people definitely have considered her the best one, and she's even worth more than the original. It's not too often in minifigure collecting where that is the case, but they certainly made an exception to the rule this time. So anyways, these are the 4 Poison Ivy figs. I hope you guys enjoyed this little collection review video. If you have any suggestions or ideas about another collection review you want to see us do in the future, let me know in the comment section below. And alright, that is it for this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoy our content, you can always like or subscribe. And that is it. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time at Brick Vault.